Hi, my name is Sam Jones and this is my Semester 2 video review for the module Viral Video. The first video I had to undertake was an individual video project for digital marketing of culture. Here I chose to make the video Liverpool, the city that speaks for itself. The second video I did was part of a group project to make an e-learning video. Here the video we made was titled Feminism on Instagram Made Easy. As you can see, the city that speaks for itself achieved 572 views, with the majority of views from an external source. This means that it was found on external websites such as social media. You can also see that only a small amount of people were recommended the video by YouTube, meaning that the majority of viewers found the video directly. Finally, you can see that 77.5% of viewers were in the UK. Feminism on Instagram Made Easy achieved 190 views, with 40% of the views being from an external source, 26.8% being from a direct or unknown source, and 18.9% being from channel pages. As you can see, a large percentage were from direct shares or from channel pages. So, based on these analytics, how can we identify and measure the virality of these videos? Well, based on the works of Corinne Nahon and Jeff Hemsley in their book Going Viral, released in 2013, we can measure virality based on the human and social aspects of information sharing from one another. We can also consider the speed of which the video has spread, the reach in terms of the number of people exposed to the content, and the reach in terms of distance the information travels by bridging multiple networks. So, for the city that speaks for itself, there was an illustrated higher percentage of external views. This would suggest that top-down strategies such as social media planning and promoting had a larger influence than the bottom-up strategies such as Contagious Characteristics. As you can see, one of the places the video was shared was Facebook, and here the video achieved a total of 9 shares from the post alone. Feminism on Instagram Made Easy had a higher percentage of views from algorithmic suggestions, such as appearing on the feed of other YouTube users. This would suggest that the type of content had more contagious characteristics than the previous video, but the social media planning had less of a success. As you can see here, one of the posts made for this video only achieved 1 share, whereas for the previous video the post achieved 9 shares. This could be because of the type of content. The city that speaks for itself was intended to be used as marketing and to be pleasing to watch, appealing to the majority of audiences. Feminism on Instagram Made Easy was made to inform on a very specific subject which may not appeal to many people, possibly explaining the potential view difference. Applying learned theory makes it easier to understand what and how a video project could go viral. Based on the works of Corinne Nahon and Jeff Hemsley mentioned earlier, the human and social aspects of information sharing from one person to another, the speed of spread, the reach in terms of number of people exposed to content, and the reach in terms of distance the information travels by bridging multiple networks all indicate virality. By applying this theory to both videos, sharing the projects on social media between people, generating as many views as possible in a short amount of time, and attempting to expose as many people to the content as possible absolutely worked in both cases, as both projects had the majority of views from an external source. This would indicate that the majority of people had watched the video on a platform that wasn't YouTube. Contagious characteristics are characteristics that interest viewers and give them an incentive to remember a video or share it with others. With the city that speaks for itself, the contagious characteristics included the use of music, which was the Beatles, which was culturally relevant to the city. The video also intended to be aesthetically pleasing and relaxing to watch. It also intended to showcase visuals that would make a viewer want to visit Liverpool, as after all it was a marketing video. The city that speaks for itself had the use of music which was culturally relevant to the city. In this case it was Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles, a famous Liverpool band. The video also intended to be aesthetically pleasing and relaxing with the use of VHS style visuals. The video also intended to showcase visuals that would make a viewer want to visit Liverpool, such as showing the sunny streets and the sights to see. In hindsight, perhaps the video should have had more contagious characteristics to increase virality, as the majority of the virality was mostly geographically based. It also seems that a lot of the virality was achieved mostly through online sharing and not through YouTube suggestions. Feminism on Instagram Made Easy utilised more contagious characteristics, with satisfying graphics, an interesting voiceover and easily conveyed facts and figures. In the end, the first project achieved more views than the second, despite there being more contagious characteristics in the second video. This would indicate that the social media planning was much more important than the content in the video itself. Going forward, to increase virality of both the videos, I think they would both need to appeal to a larger audience. Using the works of Tuckman and Jensen, we can use their revised model of small group development to break down the phases of work that we completed as a group. In the first stage of forming, the group came together on teams and discussed potential ideas and ways in which we could work. We all designated each of us a reading to work on in our own time. In the second stage of storming, the ideas were connected with discussion and debate amongst the group. We all brought ideas back from the independent work that we did, and between us discussed what idea we liked best and what we'd want to continue with. With norming, the group developed cohesion and selected roles and tasks. Having picked an idea, we then started breaking the task down and decided who would be working on each section to maintain efficiency. We also stated which tasks we felt we were the most skillful at and charted them. In the performing stage, we all brought the work we had worked on together and seen to improve it. One of us would form the video from the sections each of us had worked on to maintain cohesion and consistency. In the adjourning stage, the revision of work with the original objective in mind was completed. After the final video was created, we all watched over it and suggested final edits based on the original objective. This was to refine all of our work together to ensure that we achieved the highest grade possible. Each of us took leadership on the roles we found we were most comfortable with in the group. The person who originally read the reading acted as a director who took lead on the project, as she was the most passionate about the content we should convey. There were moments where, as a group, we would have to remind or take over work from someone else, as timetables didn't align exactly, and sometimes tasks would end up being more difficult than they originally seemed. Based on the works of Goleman, we took a democratic style where we would work based on what most of us wanted to do, but most of the time, as a group, we worked well together and would listen to the needs of other members. Working as a group posed some challenges, especially with working online. There were some things that helped. We did try and keep in contact every week on Teams and communicated regularly through Facebook Messenger. Also, by assigning clear tasks to each member and balancing the workload, we were able to achieve success. In the future, I would pick a topic that appealed to more of the group, or one that was more accessible to those who weren't as passionate about the subject. And ideally, I would not have to work online, as this made it impossible to work on the same task as someone else, and work had to be passed between members one by one. Thank you for watching my video, and I hope that you found it useful and informative.